Well, hello again. It's me, Dean, from Dean's Space. Place I spend a lot of my time. Adjust that camera up. Let's see my pretty face some more. Hi. Tonight I'm making vegetable soup. Now, I'm making what's going to be called a one-legged old man soup. Okay? That's because I'm only hobbling around on one leg with a knee cart. I'm hopping around on one leg with a knee buggy. Right down here, you see what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay. And my wife's on her way home from work, and I decided to make her some soup. She loves vegetable soup. So, what I'm making right now is not going to be with a lot of meat in it. Okay, it's going to be kind of like a vegetable soup. If I can get her to stop on her way and pick up some hamburger meat, I may fry that up and put it in there before we eat it, okay? But meanwhile, let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Ready? Here we go. Okay, just talked to my wife. She is going to go by and pick up some hamburger meat, and so I'll add that to the mix as we get there. Okay, I'm back. A lot of times what I do on a recipe is I look at somebody else's recipe and see what all they put in their stuff, and then I modify it with my stuff, and it turns out pretty good. So, I've already shown you all the vegetables I'm using. I'm gonna bring them off as I get to them. But the first thing I'm starting off with is I'm gonna chop up my onion, and then I'm gonna chop up some cabbage, which none of the recipes call for cabbage, so I'm making that on my own. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, here I am chopping up my onions, and what I'm gonna do here is, of course, I'm just gonna take this outer layer of brown skin off. In fact, sometimes it's just easier to take the whole piece of outer onion off than it is trying to get just that part off. Okay. Throw that in my garbage can. Right, we can take this piece off here. Alright. Collect all of this right here. Okay. Put that in the garbage can. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever seen any one of these or not. These things are handier than wings on a bird. Okay, because what I do here, I want to chop my onion up real small. See how small that is right there? I'm going to put my finger, put the knife. See what I'm talking about? It's real thin. They got a thick one too, which is about a ½ inch square. I use that for potatoes sometimes. But what I'm doing here, this sets right in there, like so. I'm going to show you the difference between this and cutting it up. I lay that right there. Now watch. Okay, it's not there anymore. Just disappeared. Oh, got another one disappeared. I can set that right there. As you can see, works pretty good. Now when I open it up, there's all my onions. Now if you ain't got one of them, you're gonna sit there and get your eyes all, then I can take this back out. You can get your eyes all watery and misty, crying over your chopped onions. Alright, so I'm going to set this aside because I'm fixing to put that in my pot here in just a minute. Okay, that takes care of my onions. Next is my, I'm going to chop up my celery because that's stuff I got to put in first. Everything I got to put in first is what I want to chop up first. So I'm going to do here, cut this off. And that right there is real dry. There we go. So what I'm doing here, we're going to peel this off right quick. Yeah. Okay. All right, we take that. You can also peel that celery with a potato peeler. Okay, you can. Just about as quick, I think. Some of it don't even have any peel. Some of it don't have a string on it. There we go. What you want to do here is, and this keeps your celery can be real stringy when it gets into your soup. Okay, so we're gonna. No, none there. Nope, none there. Okay. Let's see. How about here? Okay. Yep, that's got a little bit. Okay. Now, when we get to this point, okay, I'm going to take my chopped celery right there. It's amazing. And remember, my onion is still in there, all right? So all this got to be cooked together anyway. So we just kind of chop it up in there with it. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to put in here is about a cup of chopped cabbage. So what I'm doing here, here's my head of the cabbage. Brand just got it from the store. As you can see, I hadn't even cleaned it up yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut about this much of that cabbage. That's about a cup. Okay? All right. So we're going to, let's go look. We're going to put that right there. We'll move my cabbage back over here out of the way. Now, what I do here is I make sure I take the outer layer of that cabbage off. Like that right there. Okay? Now, that leaves me a good amount of cabbage. All right. Now, with that, I'm going to walk over here to my sink. I'll be right back again. Let me go wash my cabbage. I wash all of my fresh fruit that I buy. Now, when I was raising it myself, I didn't worry too much about it. But whenever somebody else raises it, I don't know what they've sprayed on that food, on that vegetables. I don't know what they've done to it. So, you know, chances are they didn't wash it when they got it off the field. Chances are it barely got washed when it got to the store. So, to be on the safe side, just wash it. Wash it off good. Wash your fruit, all your vegetables, your fruit, everything before you eat them. Just make sure that you don't get stuff in you that you don't want. Okay, now. Okay, at this point, I'm going to start putting stuff that I want to cook in my pot. Okay, I've got my cabbage. Reach over here. Okay, now, I'm going to bring my pot out here. Right here. Now I can turn this upside down. I can knock a little bit of my celery off right there. Turn that upside down. All of the onions. Okay, all that onion is going to have to come out of there. Like so. Alright, now I can set this back over here. Alright, we'll wash that later. Okay, so I've got all my veggies in that I have to, cut up, fresh vegetables. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do, the next thing I'm going to do is start adding my spices and my liquids. Here is my beef broth next. I'm going to put about 4 cups. I'm going to measure it for you, but under normal circumstances, I wouldn't even measure it. I just pour me a bunch of it in there. But because the recipe calls for 4 cups, I'm going to do 4 cups. Okay? Just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. There's 1. Now, just so you'll know, this particular one here is not low sodium. So, what does that mean? What it really means is that I don't want to put any salt in this. Okay, there's 2. There's number 3. And there's number 4. Now guess what 4 equals? Alright, we're just going to pour the rest of that in there because I don't want to save any. So I put about 32 ounces or a quart of the beef broth. Now, I can take this at this point and go ahead and turn it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on at 425 degrees. So once it starts cooking, boiling, okay, I can turn it back down. Now, all right, here we go. Spices. What do I want? Okay, I want some black pepper right here. We're going to put about a tablespoon of black pepper. Now remember, you can always come back and add, but you can't take away. All right, that's some black pepper, or cloves. garlic clove. We're going to have garlic. Now remember, a half a teaspoon of this equals about a clove of garlic. So I'm wanting 4 cloves of garlic, which means I'm going to have 4 times 2 is 8. So I'm going to have about 8 teaspoons, okay, of garlic. So we're just going to go in here and there's a teaspoon. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's number 8. All right, so we got our garlic. Okay. Okay, we've got 2 teaspoons of oregano. Oh, I'll tell you what we're gonna do now. We're gonna put everything in it that's got liquid. So any of our vegetables that we want to use, okay, I'll fix to stop, open them, and then start pouring them in. Okay, we're gonna start opening and putting in our liquid vegetables. Here I have our diced tomatoes with green chilies. That would be, y'all know what that equals, okay? My next can is going to be some regular sliced carrots. Now, because I'm not using any salt, what I do here, all right, is everything I put in here that's already canned, I want to drain it. Okay? Then we'll go back and put water in it to replace what I drained out. The reason for that is it gets rid of some of that liquid. I mean, some of the salt. Gets rid of some of the salt. So I'm going back, I'm going to need a can for that. Alright, here's some stewed tomatoes. Now I'm leaving the juice and all with it. Okay, the next is we're going to put some sweet potatoes in. I love sweet potatoes. Okay, so we're going to put some sweet potatoes, but we're going to save that for last. Yeah. No, we're not. Alright, we're going to put in some sweet potatoes. We'll put in some green beans. Now, when you make a vegetable soup, you can put just any kind of vegetable you want to in it. I'm not going to get mad, because I love all sorts of vegetables, so does my wife. And so when I'm cooking vegetable soup, I just go crazy with it. I put any kind of fresh vegetable that I have. I really and truly want to try to put it in there. If I don't have fresh, then I use cans. Okay, it's not that much difference. There is some, yes. Now, just so happened I dig around in the cabinet and I found some whole kernel corn. I'm gonna put some of that in there. Now, the other thing I found was some baby corn. I like baby corn. I only had 1 can, and so I'm going to put it in here too. See, the cute little baby corn. Not salty. Okay. The next thing I'm adding, and this is strictly for the sake of argument, I'm going to put some garbanzo beans. I found some of them up in my cabinet. that's good too. And now, of course, my trusty old mixed vegetables. All right, now I got 4 cans over here, so I need 4 cans of water. Alright, now, okay, we're through opening our cans. Chunk all them over the garbage can. Next thing we're going to do is measure out the other liquid, which is, we got about 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Now, understand please, this is not red wine, this is the vinegar. And has no alcohol, it's just got a little flavor to it. But I want to shake it up, okay? And then I'm going to put 2 tablespoons. That's a tablespoon. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons in there, okay? 1, 2, very good. All right. Okay, so we'll set this over here out of the way. Alright. Now, I got to get my towel out because everything's teaspoons and tablespoons on the spices. So I'm going to dry them off, clean my can opener, put it back in the drawer. I'm going to do a review on a can opener. Let me turn this a little bit. I'm going to do a review on a can opener here when we get through with this. You might want to come back and take a look at it. I'm going to do a review on a can opener that we bought and I'm not happy with. Alright, I'm going to stir this up a little bit. Remember, it's been cooking now. We got on 425 degrees, so it's cooking. Now, we're going to start off with spices. Black pepper, we're going to do, we did black pepper, okay. Now, we're going to start off with our spices. We're going to put about 2 teaspoons of oregano. Okay. Oregano, about 2 teaspoons of oregano. Now, because I put so much water in here, that water is going to deplete my spices, okay? A little bit. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of oregano. There we go. Okay, we put a tablespoon of oregano. Okay, we're going to put a 1/4 teaspoon, and so what I'm going to use is about, we can call that a 1/4 teaspoon of chopped red pepper. All right, the next thing we're looking at is a couple of bay leaves, which we're going to throw those in there. All right, we're going to put 2 bay leaves in there, and these are small ones, so I'm going to do 3. And let's do 4. These are little bitty leaves. Let's do 4. All right. So now we put 4 bay leaves in there. Okay. We put our tomatoes in. Okay, now here we're going to put 1 teaspoon of Tony Chachere's no salt, and that's a heaping teaspoon. I don't use very little, than little bitty teaspoons. And I'm going to put in a teaspoon of thyme leaves. All right, got all that done. Got this done here. Close that away. Now, this right here, whoop, see it has no label? That is Dean's Space All Season. Okay, see this right here? No label. That's mine. This is Dean Space Seasonal. Really good. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to put a tablespoon of it. It's got a lot of seasoning in it. It has no salt. Works really well with everything I've tried so far. All right, now, last but not least. Woo! I'll try to eat. That's some good stuff. All right. We're going to put 1 teaspoon, okay? Because what I want actually is the flavor, not so much the heat. Okay, I'm going to keep going until I get a teaspoon. If I miss the spoon a little bit, not going to hurt a thing. All right, so I got 1 teaspoon of regular, original Tabasco sauce, okay? So we're going to wipe this lid off. We're going to put this over here. Now, at this point, we're going to stir this. And we're going to let it cook. Meanwhile, preheat our oven to 425 degrees. We fix to make cornbread. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, now while the soup's cooking, let me stir it again. Hasn't started boiling yet, but it's steaming. Okay, next thing I want to do, get my spoon holder over here. Set it right beside him. Spoon holder. Give me a little spoon right there. Next thing we're doing is making the cornbread. Now, again, Martha White yellow cornbread mix. Okay? And basically, I follow the recipe on the back. Okay? So anyway, I've got a 1.5 cups of cornmeal mix. I've got a 1.5 cups of cornmeal mix. Then I got 1 cup of Martha White all-purpose flour. All right. Now I got to put in 2 eggs. So what I do is I get my something over here and I crack my eggs in. All right. Oh, there's a piece of shell. I got 2 pieces of shell down there. See, now what would happen if I hadn't been using this? It'd mess around, been down in my cornmeal mix. Okay. So I get rid of that one. I can put that one in. Same thing again. All right. A good rule of thumb is to never crack your egg over what you're cooking. Okay? Because one reason, let me show you why. Let me let you see this. How easy you think it'd be to find an eggshell in that? Not really. Okay, now here I'm going to put in a cup of milk. So we got a cup of whole milk. I have used buttermilk. I've used whole milk with creamer. I've used half and half. Today it just so happens I'm going to use just regular whole milk. All right, there it goes. Now It's all the measuring I've got to do, so you know what I'm going to do, don't you? You know that commercial? Yeah, I got milk. Ooh, that stuff's good. Now, I turned my oven on to 450 degrees. It's already heating. Now I get to stir all this. Okay, we're going to mix that up real good. And you're going to see here in just a minute about the consistency that you want it to be. Now, I don't whisk this. I use a spatula, a rubber spatula, and I mix it because I think it mixes better. Not only that, it doesn't get hung up in my whisk. So I'm going to mix this up real good. Now, something that I was taught a long time ago about cornbread. I always want my cornbread to be moist. Well, I just splattered that all over the place, but anyway. All right, I want my cornbread moist, so I'm going to add about let's see, here we go. I'm going to add about half a cup of mayonnaise. Now, on my mayonnaise, I'm a firm believer in Kraft mayonnaise. I was raised on Kraft mayonnaise, and that's all we eat in my house. So I find it to be quite good. So now we'll go back over here. We'll rinse our spoon off. Okay. We'll do that while we're stirring. Then we're going to finish mixing that mayonnaise in with that cornbread. Now, if you have never tried mayonnaise in your cornbread, you might want to give it a try. You'd be amazed. Now, depending on how you like your cornbread, I have some people who fry up a little bacon, put in there with them. I got some bacon bits up in the cabinet. I've done that before. I've done jalapeno peppers, or I only use red jalapeno peppers. I'm not crazy about any kind of green hot pepper. I do like green sweet peppers, poblanos, and several other styles of Mexican chilies that aren't really hot, but they carry a really good flavor. Now, but my favorite is red cayenne. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is now I also added about a quarter spoon of oil to my cornbread to help make it even more moist. I worked that shortening around on the bottom. I'm going to pour my cornbread in here. Okay, we started the cornbread at about 618, and it's got to cook for about 5 minutes at 450 degrees. We'll check it then. Okay, be right in a minute. Okay, now my wife just come home, and you know what I told you earlier. You add your spices, but after it's cooked a little bit, you taste some more of it to see where it's at. Well, she's tasted and smelt of it, and it needed more garlic. So we added some more garlic. I just doubled what the recipe called for. I doubled the garlic. I put another tablespoon of garlic powder in it as well. And it's smelling really good. Fix to be taking the cornbread out at 6:26, which is a little bit past the 5 minutes. We're gonna see how. Be right back. Okay, I just pulled my cornbread out to check it. It's not ready. It's still really kind of a light yellow, which means it's still not cooked yet. Probably another 5 or 10 minutes will be good. But I forgot to mention, when you put your mayonnaise in your cornbread, it slows your cooking down. Because I don't know why, but it does. You have to cook it probably about an extra 5, 10 minutes. But it makes it so much better. Okay, be back in a minute. All right, this is me and my wife. Ain't she pretty? Well, she's definitely the better looking of the two. There ain't no doubt about that. Hey, I come out on the better end of this deal than she did. Hey, you can't run away. I'll follow you. But anyway, say hey, babe.
Hey.
Babe.
Hey.
There you go. Hey, all right. She can follow instructions too. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Come to think of it, she probably wishes I would follow instructions a little better. Okay, this is what it looks like inside while it's cooking. Boy, don't that look good? I wish you could smell it. I'm gonna figure out a way to get the smell on these pictures one of these times. Okay, I'm fixing to pull the cornbread out. That's what it looks like up in the oven. Boy, it looks good. Okay, we're fixing to let my wife pull it out because she's gonna set it right there on top of the stove. That is what it looks like after it come out of the stove, folks. That's some good cornbread right there. All right, be back in a minute. Okay, folks, there's the end result. I got my cornbread in a bowl of soup, and the soup is delicious. And I'm drinking water out of my Yeti cup, and it's pretty good. So, hey, hope y'all enjoy. This menu and video comes with a spice warning attached. By that I mean, when you finish cooking this soup, not only is the soup itself hot from fire, is also high in spice content. The spice content comes from the herbs and everything that's mixed together. I did find, though, that the next morning or the next day, it was not that spicy. In fact, it was even better. It tasted better because the spice content seemed to be a little bit lower. I like spicy food, so it didn't bother me the first time around. My wife was kind of off-put with it a little bit because it was a little bit too much spice to it. But now today, I came back and tried it with a bowl of cornbread, and man, let me tell you something. That was some really good soup. So just a warning, if you don't want to let it sit for overnight, or if you're going to cook it in a hurry, cut back on your spices. If you can afford to make it today and serve it tomorrow, then just leave the spices like they are. You're probably going to find it's going to be all right. Okay, but spice content is up to you. All right. God bless you. Before ending this video, I want to take a moment and thank all of our heroes, all of our armed forces out there protecting our country and helping to keep it free. To the veterans of this great nation, I say thank you. May God bless you and your families for the sacrifices you made for us. To our military who have passed on, I want to thank your families in remembrance of you and your service. We also want to thank those other heroes out there risking their lives daily, helping to keep us safe and protected. That would be our EMTs, firefighters, and law enforcement. Thank all of you for loaning us your heroes for a time. May God bless and keep you on your life's journey.